You're watching Diecast Breakdown with Chuck Ellis, David Johns, and Mark McHotwheel. So sit back, strap in, and hang on. The breakdown starts now.
Well, hey there, folks. Chuck here, and welcome to Diecast Breakdown Live, where we are live from Las Vegas, sort of, kind of. One of us is, anyway, and we are going to be talking about Diecast Supercon with Honest Diecast. Derek has graciously agreed to be our man on the street, and we are really excited to hear what has been cracking, as we say in the business, over at Diecast Supercon. But before we do that, we want to thank our patrons, especially our executive producer level patrons. That would be Mr. TWYCE Diecast, DrivenDreams.org, First and 64th Customs, Video Geek Productions, and of course our honorary executive producer, Mr. Dane Self, who has decided to personally give us money instead of going through the Patreon process. So thank you, Dane. That's really awesome of you. And shout out to our new patrons. Spoolheads Racing is a new patron. They are really cool. He does a YouTube channel where he does diecast racing and 3D prints track parts. He's going to be a guest on the show soon. So it was really nice of him to become a patron after I reached out and asked him to be on the show. And Rudy Moons, welcome back. Rudy is a returning patron. And of course, if you want to get in on that action, you can visit diecastbreakdown.com and check out our link to our Patreon, or you can hit the little join button down below. But enough of that business. I am joined by my amazing co-host, Mr. David Johns. David, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, guys.
All righty. And of course, Derek over in Las Vegas. Honest Diecast, how you doing today, Derek?
Doing excellent. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're doing all right. You staying awake over there? It's that convention fatigue is a real thing.
You know, caffeine does wonders, and it lasts for a good period of time. But yeah, I think my legs have gone rather than my brain or my eyesight. So
I'm glad you're sitting down, because I'm told that there was a lot of action happening on the floor in Las Vegas, and we're excited to do a recap of that for our listeners, our viewers watching live. Thank you so much, guys. Of course, the people who are watching live right now, feel free to drop a comment if you're watching us on Facebook Live, Instagram, or on YouTube. We do get it over here on StreamYard, and you can ask it, and we will answer it as best we can during the show. So, Derek, let's start at the beginning. When did you first hear about Diecast Supercon?
I heard about Diecast Supercon last year, probably. Well, actually, yeah, 2022. I heard about it. Told my wife about it, got tickets for it, and made it last year. That was my first convention ever, and decided to return this year. Last year was probably a little more memorable because good old David Johns over there was there, as well as Mark Cotwheel. But still, it was a lot of fun this year, and look forward to coming back next year.
Yeah, absolutely. And yes, for those who don't remember, David and Mark were live from Las Vegas last year talking to Eddie Castro, friend of the show, who works over at Mesto, and they ran into Derek there and got to hang out and have some bro time with the diecast floor and all the other awesome collectors there. And we're looking forward to being there next year. We had Steve Johnston on the show earlier, talking about the show, and he really wanted us to be there, and we really want to be there too. It's just it didn't shake out this year. Between shout out to Mark and Kimber again for the welcoming their new child into the world. I forgot to ask beforehand if we could share pictures, so we're not going to. We're just going to say congratulations, and hopefully we'll have some more info to share with you on the next episode. But they are doing great, and we are more than happy to give them some time to welcome their new member of the family. Yeah, the show looks incredible. I haven't been yet. David, when you were there, what was your experience? Because that was really kind of your first big show. When you went in 2023, was it 2023? Yeah.
2024. No, wait, this is 24. Okay, my bad.
23.
Yeah, man. You never forget your first. And Derek's right. Getting to meet so many people, first and foremost, Mark guy had been doing the show with for a couple years, got to meet him, and then boom, icing on the cake. Derek walks in, and a couple of my favorite diecast dudes, got to meet them. But aside from that, the constant activity, Derek will tell you, it's not the biggest venue, but they do a good job about keeping so much going on. There's different types of shows. There's informational stuff. There are freebies to be won. All of that is going on all while you are trying to shop on the floor and in the rooms. So much going on, and really well run event. Last year was probably a little busier. They had, toys as part of the show as well. This year it was all diecast, and you guys heard from Steve on our interview with him. And it's a pretty cool event just to have a kind of a Super Bowl of diecast conventions.
Sure.
Once a year.
Yeah. And shout out to Paul Ellis over at Fat Guy Productions. He's in the chat. Thank you for joining us, Paul. He was also at the show. We were pleased to be able to help with him getting to that show. And I heard he brought his 81 Turbo Trans Am for the full size car show. And then I heard there was like he was live, and he said there was like some big storms or something, like it was really windy or something. So there was some concern about the weather, but I'm sure that it was warm and cozy there on the showroom floor. So who all did you see there, Derek, while you were out there meandering and rubbing elbows with all these people?
Let's see. I met I don't know the gentleman's name by first name basis, but I was able to go to OneStop Diecast room and meet him, and I believe I picked up a piece from him. I'm not quite positive, but absolutely impressive room. I believe it was maybe the 4th or 5th room on my live stream yesterday. Absolutely incredible selection. Not just Hot Wheels, actually very little Hot Wheels, but mainly Kaidos, Innos, Tarmacs, and stuff. And
Heck yeah.
Lord knows that's my focus now. So I was in heaven in that room. Who else did I meet? I got to meet my friend, mine and my friend Rob, who were there. I got to meet my friend Eric, who's his name is Savoy Sticks. He's on a lot of our live streams, and he set up a room, did a really good job. Mike from RDDC was there. Everybody knows I talk about him all the time. He's my local premium diecast god, as I like to call him. Mm-hmm. He was absolutely killing the show. He by far had the most largest selection of premium diecast, diorama mats, just all kinds of crazy stuff. But yeah, saw SRT Jovita, didn't get a chance to meet them. They were on the creator stage quite a bit, so needless to say they're a little busy, but that's okay. Sure. And yeah, just so many people. Saw Larry Wood walking around just like a normal diecast guy. That was pretty cool. And he also had a fire sale in his room as well. I guess some of the things that were caught in a fire, he decided to basically auction or sell those off, sign them, and it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool seeing them.
Can we take a time out, guys? Because there might be some people here who haven't been to one of these shows before. And when you talk about, I went to this room, that room, I want you to lay it out, because this is what's unique to the diecast community and the shows. Derek, talk about the shopping, and when you're talking about rooms, what do you mean?
So talking about the hotel rooms, and for anybody who hasn't been to a convention like this, because I'm sure LA, Charlotte, Ohio, all the other ones, I'm pretty sure they're all just like this. But you have the convention, which is what you buy tickets for, and you go and you see that. But it's not just limited to that. It's going up to the rooms. It's going and shopping vendors, just everyday people who just decide to bring a bunch of stock and sell out of their rooms, and that in itself is a whole new event. And if your Fitbit is a little low on steps, that's going to make up for it. That's going to make up for it, because it's not just a one and done type thing. People are constantly changing inventory, so you got to keep checking the rooms, see what's left, see what's new.
Mm-hmm. And it's not sketchy. It's not sketchy, even though it may sound sketchy. It literally everybody's doing it. And,
it's like going
Yeah, it's like going to a flea market and having all the booths right there, except you don't have to pick over a bunch of Coca-Cola swag. This is all diecast every room you go in. So it's probably, I mean, it's a dream scenario for somebody looking for a specific piece.
Yeah. Another person that was here, because we're talking about rooms, one of the most impressive rooms as well was good old Toy Pimp. He was here.
Yeah.
Oh, hey,
Jeff.
Former guest on Diecast Breakdown.
Yes.
Jeff Koch. Awesome.
Yes. And for anybody that likes Tomica.
Oh, yeah. He's got
and
huge in with Tomica.
We're talking bread racks. He had probably about 3, 4, maybe even 5 bread racks full of Tomica limited vintage Neos, and just absolutely insane.
No
That's
place.
awesome.
I mean, you won't find the selection like you find at a convention.
Yeah.
No.
So guys, now that you've done this, what are some advice that you have for doing something like this? Is there any kind of etiquette protocol? Is there things that you should or shouldn't do when participating in an open air bazaar like this one?
That's pretty good. You got anything, David? I'll go after you.
I would suggest not passing gas when you go into the hotel rooms to shop.
No crop dusting.
No crop dusting. No, for real, guys. Take stuff. Like, don't be afraid to take some stuff and try and recoup some of the money. Like last year, Derek, I don't know if you remember, in my room, I had maybe 20 or 30 little pieces just on a cabinet, and I sold them. Like, I took some stuff that you wouldn't see. There were no Hot Wheels. There was stuff from around the world. And I sold, I mean, I got my dinner money back. And that's one way of kind of, easing the pain of these conventions, because you're going to buy stuff. You're going to see stuff that you won't see any other time. So you're going to spend money. What do you say, Derek?
Yep, exactly. You will find hard to find pieces and just stuff floating around that you just do not see anymore. My buddy Rob, he literally found a piece right as we were walking out. He found one of the old blue card highway haulers with the twin towers on it. I don't know if you guys know that piece. Not a super valuable piece, but super hard to find. So he was able to find that on his way walking out. So yeah, you're going to find stuff like that. But yeah, definitely bring a budget. Cash is recommended. If you can bring a stack of cash with you, bring a stack of cash with you, because most of the vendors they prefer to take cash, but some of them take Zelle and Venmo and PayPal.
Yeah.
But set aside a budget. Stick to it. Remember, be mindful of what you have to spend there. And just as David said, bringing some trades in, it's going to save you a little bit of money. Just working trades. If you want to sell it, you can sell it, or you can offer them for trade too. That'll save you. Hey, Paul.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good.
Yeah. Shout out to Paul Udelis is joining us, folks, for those who are listening in. But Paul of Fat Guy Productions, former guest on Diecast Breakdown, was at the show, and I just saw him in our chat, and he's very graciously agreed to join us and share his thoughts on the event. So Paul, this was your first time at Diecast Supercon, and you're a Vegas native, so a Vegas show or two. So what was your take of it?
That's the thing is I must just have my head in the clouds or something, because I had no idea. The only show I knew about was the Redline Jackpot, and I had never heard of this show before. And so when I did, I was cranked, and it didn't disappoint.
Yeah. So I saw you you brought your 81 Trans Am. That thing looks wicked, by the way. I did not know you had that. That is a very cool looking car.
Wicked. I had it detailed and everything, and got to the car show, and then with that rain, it was like pelting everybody with these like little tiny mud balls.
Ooh.
So the car's detailing lasted for less than 24 hours.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it is a mess. They're coming to fix it back up tomorrow, because it was just the car show was off the hook. It was amazing. There were some great cars there, but you couldn't spend any time in the garage because it was just so miserable out there.
Oh dear.
Awful.
Yeah, the wind was
guys,
cranking.
Was it cold and windy, or just windy?
Well, you know, okay, people in the East are going to think I'm an idiot by saying that at like, what, 58 degrees, it was cold. But when the wind is howling 52 miles an hour, yeah, it's cold. It's cold and it's windy and it's blowing mud balls on you. And it was just the worst thing ever. It was just terrible. And thank goodness they moved like the awards and stuff. They moved those inside because it was supposed to be in the garage. And I was like, oh, these poor guys, man. I didn't go back out in the garage. I went out there for maybe 10 minutes total time, and that was it.
Yeah. Oh, that's rough. There are a few things more heartbreaking than a car show when the weather turns inclement. In Florida, it can turn on a dime. So I sympathize with you there. I've never experienced mud ball rain. That must just be all the sand in the air from the desert.
Yeah,
but
exactly. Because it's so dry, and then it gets kicked up into the air, and then this fine mist comes through, and it picks up all the dirt. It was just
brings it back down.
I said this yesterday. I've lived here for 30 plus years, and I said this is probably the worst weather I've ever seen in Las Vegas.
Oh. Well, bad timing.
All right.
Well, go ahead, David.
I'm curious, and I want to hear from both of y'all. Derek, tell me some of the vendors, some of the diecast brands we know that were at the show and had kind of cool booths, and if there was anything super cool that they did to connect to the community.
Let's see. Greenlight was there. I remember going by Greenlight's booth. Didn't really interact with it too much, but I remember that they were doing some kind of thing where I think you buy a car or two and you get giving out free chases with purchases, something like that. Wow. I'm not really sure. But I thought that was really cool. Very nice booth, very nice tables set up, booth, banners, all that. Diamond Protectors was there as well. They were giving out free protectors and free lanyards, which I thought was pretty cool. So that's awesome. Saw a lot of these around people's necks there. Nice little lanyard, nice little diamond protector lanyard.
Interesting.
And just a lot of there's a lot of up and coming vendors too. A lot of case like display case. I can't remember the name for the life of me, but there were these plastic molded cases. I think Paul, you probably seen them, but they probably carry, God, I want to say 50 plus cars, but they're made out of plastic. Yeah, you know which ones I'm talking about. They're
I do,
but
I do.
Very, very sturdy, like very ingenious, like design. Very affordable too, and they were doing giveaways for those display cases. So yeah, just a lot of up and coming people, like almost like a promotional show for new products. And then of course we have the product that we were all talking about before the show started. Mr. Lewis's new line of cars. That was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. Cartooned. And for anybody that didn't know about those cartoon cars, customizer's dream. You pick up a handful of them, you can interchange the wheels, interchange the bases, all that kind of stuff. So just very, very impressive.
Yeah, those cartoon cars. Wow, those were fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah, the square bodies were so nice. Just great designs, friggin' awesome. Just like tuned Hot Wheels, but on steroids and much better quality. So just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, because rubber wheels. Yeah, and Lewis, we didn't get to air the talk that we had with him, but he gave us some really awesome behind the scenes stuff before it dropped, and unfortunately we weren't able to. We were actually legally bound to not talk about it, and it just kind of shook out that we were not able to spill the beans. But it was nice to see it come out, and I'm excited for him. We're looking forward to having Lewis on the show in the near future to talk about it. But they look super duper cool, and there's a hint that there might be some collab work with them in the future with us, which is very exciting. So yeah, so watch this space and check out Lewis. He's a friend of the show. He really likes what we're doing here, and we really appreciate him sharing some stuff with us, even if we weren't able to officially get that out there ahead of the show. But yeah, I'm trying to find there it is. All right.
What about you, Paul? Any vendors that you made an impression on you?
I was impressed by all the mainline guys, because not only did they set up really fantastic displays and have a lot of product available for you. So if you wanted it and you couldn't find it in your stores, they probably had it there. But I really enjoyed their presentations in the conference, because they gave you a peek behind the curtain. And I didn't know any of this stuff. They showed sketches of cars that are not out yet. They showed some of the models that they get, that they have to use to approve, and they talked about that process. And it was just kind of a fascinating thing to be able to see all that. So all of those guys, but I mean, I guess it figures, but even the small mom and pop people who were out there, they came ready to play. They really did. I found this one booth. I snagged a red line and a car I'd never seen before. It's like a giant red line. I loved it. Nobody brought their B game. Nobody.
Yeah. So, Derek, what'd you think about Paul alluded a little bit to it, like some of the informational things where if you got tired of walking around shopping, you could sit down and catch some info from your brand, some of the presentations that were out there. That's a pretty cool thing to have as part of the show. If you're just tired of walking around and shopping, you can actually get some insider info.
Yeah, there's so much to do. I mean, if you want information, there's information. If you want leaks on upcoming stuff, there's leaks on upcoming stuff. If you got the kiddos with you, there's Hot Wheel tracks. Just about it. There's a couple of them sitting around there where they can play and they can have fun with hands-on stuff. You got the rooms, you got the convention floor, you got some really, really good coffee that I could not lay off of. Paul, I don't know if you had any of the coffee, but man, the iced mocha lattes were to die for, and I had at least one a day the whole time.
I'm a soda guy, but I'll tell you what, that Automo, I was addicted to their breakfast. The toast was insane. I could have just sat there and ate toast all day. I know that sounds weird,
right by the entrance.
I was really enjoying the breakfast in Automo. That hotel, wow.
That's pretty cool venue.
Great food at the restaurant.
Or Hannah, something like that.
Ahern.
We have a rental place that rents tractors here called Ahern Rentals, and I was like, Ahern Hotel, this is weird. But no, they're not connected. Totally different. And the hotel was just what a great venue. It was clean. It was safe. The food was good. The people were friendly. The space was clever, and it was really a great venue.
Paul, were you able to get to any of the hotel room trading areas, or was that something after?
I'll tell you what, no, because I get beat down.
Sure.
I by the time I get there, do all the whatever I'm gonna do, I'm ready to go home and take a nap. And since I have that luxury, that's what I did.
Yeah, you're a townie in this affair, so you can sleep in your own bed at night. Yeah. That's nice. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's just seems like it's fixing to be the place. The Steve Johnston was calling it the Comic-Con of Diecast, and I could absolutely see that happening where people are dropping stuff. And just really quick, I'm gonna try this here, and hopefully this will work. You can see my screen here. I can show you a little bit of cartooned. Now, these are the cars that we got to see a few weeks ago when we were talking to Lewis, and now we can actually talk about them. But they are super fun. These cool, chunky, cutesy cartoon vehicles, and I'm really excited about them as a customizer. There's a lot of great potential there for taking those wheels and putting them on other stuff. And I like that the lowriders have adjustable height to them. Like this one kind of demonstrates you can have them in different poses. So just a really fun thing. And we're excited, hopefully, to have Lewis on soon. There's a bit of, once you start talking to these guys at these major corporations, there's a certain amount of red tape that you have to deal with. But we're hoping we can cut through that and get that interview out there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's really cool. I'm tickled, Paul, that you were able to make it. We were talking a little bit before the show, and it looks like a fantastic experience. I'm glad you could make it there, and Derek could make it there again. And there were a lot of great guests. Were you able to meet any of the guests, Paul? Because I know you were really excited to meet one guest in particular.
And I did. I got to meet the legend, Don Prudhomme,
Mm-hmm.
very nice gentleman. I snagged a couple autographs, and I'm seriously thinking about doing something that I probably shouldn't, but I do my Christmas extravaganza every year. I'm thinking of giving away the autographed print at the next Christmas extravaganza.
That would be quite the prize.
He was a great guy. The line for Larry Wood was nuts.
Oh, I'm sure.
And by that time, it was Saturday when I was going to try and do that, and it was in the afternoon, and I was tired, and I was like, I'd love to meet the man, but I gotta go. I was dreading walking out to the parking garage. I thought about abandoning the Trans Am and just leaving it there forever, and maybe, I don't know, being a hobo or something, because I didn't want to go out in that weather. I don't know. So, but I did get to meet Don Prudhomme, fantastic guy. And, how often do you get to meet a literal living legend?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it was. I was really happy about that.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, unless you wanted to add on to that story, Chuck, I had a question for the guys.
No, go for it.
Okay. So there's a chance that the organizers of the show might catch this episode, might be lurking right now for all we know, or they might watch it later. Is there anything that you guys saw that maybe you wish had been a little bit different? And whatever jumps to your mind. Just
okay, I'll go first because I do have something.
Sure.
Like for the car show and for the Diecast contest, they were both really fun. Make the entry forms available online prior to the show, because it was kind of a nightmare trying to remember, well, what category am I supposed to be in, and everybody's standing there trying to fill out the forms and stuff. It would be so much nicer if it was just on the website where you could just print out the forms, pre-fill them out, bring them with you to the show. It would make their job a lot easier, and the entrance of jobs a lot easier. I think that would be a really nice thing and pretty simple to do.
Yeah. All right. Good advice. Derek, how about you?
Well, the things that the two things that I can think of is, so for some reason the convention was wrapped up at noon today on a Sunday. The schedule was kind of funky. I think on Thursday it was open until 7. Friday was 5. Saturday was 5. And then today was noon. I think some extra hours would certainly help, or maybe just a bit of consistency on that part. I really think that would help, is just having a more consistent schedule. And then I had something else, but I just kind of lost it. Give me a second. I'm sure it'll come back to me.
Well, I second that motion. It would be really nice to have it just a hair more structured. And that's, I'm really nitpicking there, okay? Because they really did an amazing job, because this was a big event with a lot of moving parts, and they did a great job. But he's right that a little more structure could have benefited everybody.
Did you guys go ahead, Derek? Yeah.
The other thing was, I just remembered, if you're booking the Ahern specifically for the convention, maybe give a little more leeway for checkout time, because checkout time is still 11. Maybe offer some kind of package, because there's a lot of people that wanted to keep their rooms open And fortunately, a lot of those guys were able to move down today to the floor and sell on the floor, which was cool. But that's a lot of stuff that they got to move from the room to the floor. So
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe be a little more forgiving or offer maybe a little additional package or something to where, hey, instead of checkout being at 11, maybe be at 4 or 5,
Yeah.
Just saying.
And I know I'm going to feel stupid saying this because I know Chuck is on this, okay? They've already announced the dates for next year, and they've already opened up reservations for tickets and stuff. So they're not wasting any time, and I will be getting in on that pretty quickly here.
Yeah, and it's more into February too. I think it's like February 20th, something like that.
Like late February, yeah.
And if we know House of Cards and Steve Johnston, I guarantee you it's going to be bigger than this year.
That's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, I haven't seen the official schedules posted yet, but I know that it will be soon. So we're like we said, we had a pretty much engraved invitation from Steve to be there, and we're really wishing we could. It's just we wanted to be there when we could all be there, and it made sense budget wise. It's just now that we know the dates, we can get plane tickets when they're still pretty cheap. Exactly. But it's funny. I was just going to circle back to what Paul was saying about Don Prudhomme, and when we had Larry on and talked to him, we asked him what his favorite diecast was that he worked on while he was at Hot Wheels, and his answer was this amazingly complex Don Prudhomme Legends vehicle. It's like a 1/24th scale version of Don Prudhomme's dragster that goes through this entire mechanical process of staging, burning out. Paul, you know the one I'm talking about, right?
I do.
Yeah. I don't know if you have one of those or not, but it seems like something that would be in your collection. But so he was talking about that was his favorite thing to work on because it's so complex, and the whole thing is 100% mechanical. It's not computer. It actually uses audio tape to play the sounds. It's just insane. There's like a micro cassette in the back of it or something. And he said that Don Prudhomme actually called him up the other day to talk to him about that thing because he's got one of them himself, and he just loved that vehicle. So it's kind of cool. I'm sure they got to hang out. I thought about that when I saw that they were there. I was like, oh, I bet they're talking about that.
Is Legend to Life the name of it?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it
sounds right.
Try finding one of these. Try finding one of those on eBay. They start at like $300. But it's super cool. There's footage of them on YouTube. If you haven't seen them, these things were done back in the I think the 90s, early 90s, maybe. And it does a full staging process with the lights for the headers lighting up like there's fire shooting out of them and a burnout, and the Christmas tree lights up, and it does a little wheel stand as it takes off, and it's so cool. Yeah. So, oh, hey, Pete's in here. Hey, Pete. So, that's super awesome. Hey, Derek, what you got?
Would you guys believe me if I told you, Paul, you might have seen it if you did a little bit of room hopping. I don't remember the room number, but somebody had a full Hot Wheels computer set up.
Oh, really?
A full computer setup, $400.
You're talking about like the PC, the orange, and
it was blue.
The blue,
like a blue monitor, like a big old CRT monitor with speakers, and
dude, it had everything. It had the monitor, had the keyboard, had the joystick, steering wheel, all that stuff. $400.
Yeah.
That's wild. I mean, that's the kind of stuff you'll see at the show.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of everything. So, but cool.
So,
go ahead,
Derek. You mentioned earlier, or maybe it was Paul, about a Hall of Fame dinner, and just to make everyone aware, they'll do Hall of Fame. Was it the Hall of Fame inductions at this dinner for the Diecast Hall of Fame? Is that what it was? We had Anthony Ryan Schmidt, the photographer, on last year, and he was inducted while we were there. So I'm thinking the dinner, when you get the dinner car, is also maybe the Hall of Fame induction for that year's class, if I understand it right. Does that sound right to you guys?
Yeah, I didn't go, but that is exactly what I believe the thing was. And they bring everybody in, and they have a really nice room for it, and they do a whole nice big shindig. But like I said,
and that might be
once I left,
why
I was done
that
for
might
the
be
day.
why it shut down at 5 was so that they could transition to the dinner, and then the night before, I think maybe there was probably the cartooned launch party. That might be why they cut it all off at 5 o'clock. I don't know.
Oh, I wanted to ask Paul. I know one of the things you were excited about was the customs show. Did you get a chance to check that out?
I did, and I'll tell you what, these guys are amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
I may just change my channel to knitting or something because I don't hold a candle to these dudes. There was some insane. There was one guy who had like empty potato chip bags in his 1/64 scale diecast, and I was like, okay, that's just insane.
That's next level.
There was another dude. He must work in metals or something like that because a lot of his stuff was either cast or somehow shaped. It was incredible. I'm doing not to make this a big self-serving plug, but next weekend I'm going to drop my review, and I'll have some video, and I've got quite a few pictures from the Diecast custom contest, so those will be on there if you want to see.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. And again, folks, if you haven't already, I mean, both of these guys have much bigger channels than we do. So absolutely, if you haven't somehow subscribed to them yet, check out Paul's channel and Honest Diecast as well. So Paul, your channel is it Paul Y, or is it, you can find it by searching Fat Guy Production either way.
Productions, but it shows up as Paul Y 7218 for some reason, and I don't know how to change it. And I'm too lazy, I guess, or something like that.
well, search for Paul. It's very easy to find his channel, and they both have really awesome content. They're both really good customizers in their own right. That I agree with you. Like, I'm worried to actually enter one of those things because I'm like, I mean, I recognize I'm pretty good, but you know, I know that these guys, like at the real shows, and then you watch the guys who really do this and sell their customs for $400 or $500 each. Like it's next level. But they're also not running a YouTube channel.
That's what I was talking about. Is these guys are insane. I mean, and I mean that in the best possible way.
Did you guys check out Nuclear Minds? Lee Allen.
Yep,
just
absolutely.
One of the
I think
innovative
I was
people
in front of everybody's booth for at least a couple hours each.
Sure. Cool. And of course, Hayden HWC, another guest of the show, was there. I saw he was, Derek, you said he was selling a lot of 3D printed stuff. He's been really tearing it up with his own unique designs that he's creating. There it is.
There you go.
So, very nice young man. Also a Vegas native, I believe.
Super cool guy. Super chill to talk to, just like on the episode that he was on with you guys, just super down to earth. And great product, super affordable. I picked up a couple of SR20 engines off of them because they do pull a premium before Race Wars, and a couple of RB26s as well. Great product.
There we go.
Very great product. But he had everything from roof racks to spare tire racks to garage lifts, everything in there. It's just amazing table.
Yes, bill it to Tony Customs, as he's ordered from him several times now. I have as well. I just got another order from him the other day. I got a little camper back and some roof rack stuff and some various filler to decorate some of my pieces. His stuff is great. But yeah, it sounds like an awesome time. Again, I'm grateful for both of you for showing up and giving your recaps of stuff. You know, we don't want to keep you too long because I'm sure you're both exhausted, but you know, we wanted to make sure that we were covering the event as well, and as best we can. And it's nice to get some on the ground experience there for both of you. So you know, really excited. We will both, David and I are both making plans to be there next year. So we'll all hang out and grab a drink.
I already have a beer commitment.
All right. Yes, I saw that. I saw David was promising some beverages. So yeah. Well, all right. Well, guys, we're gonna bring this to a little bit of an early close here because we can only be four talking heads talking about this show for so long without people going, how do I get here? What do I do? So for those who don't know, you can visit diecastsupercon.com and they should have the dates up there shortly. Right now it's still showing all the 2024 stuff. And what's funny is if you go to the homepage right now and you scroll down a little bit, literally the first video that you see in giant red letters says TWYCE Diecast. So they must have liked David's video from last year. Well, that must have been amusing for you, David, to go on the site and see that. Did you know that they had done that?
That was a nice little surprise for me. I did not know that. I got sent a screenshot by Steve, and I said, I don't know if he knows who made that video, but it's mine, and I'm going to take it. I'm enjoying the bumping views.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and again, oh, go ahead.
I said, heck yeah, good job.
Oh yeah, heck yeah. All right, well, awesome. Well, and again, a shout out to David and Mark again for what they've been doing with this channel, stepping up and really helping with the content this year. Mark, of course, is taking a little bit of a paternity leave for a very good reason, and we're grateful for that. But we are still continuing to post every single day. There we go. Nice little
show your 510s
in memory of 510s out for Mark. And we're excited for what's ahead. And thank you to everybody who's been liking, subscribing, sharing. Sharing is a great way to grow the channel. We've been getting a lot of traction from people sharing the videos and from posting our shorts and stuff. And you will be seeing the official Diecast breakdown race car on Tiny Track Cars coming up here in a few weeks for their NASCAR Legends race. So if you've been following our shorts, you've seen me struggling to build my first downhill racing car with literally no experience before then. And, I know how to make them look good, but making them run good is an entirely different discipline. And I've had a lot of fun. Shout out to Xavier over at Diecast Show Customs for all the tutorials he's posted that have been instrumental in making that happen. So check those out. And again, shout out to everybody who supports the channel, especially our patrons. And before I forget, shout out for our small channel shout out this week is, come on, StreamYard doesn't want to show it. That's weird. All right, well, there it is. Diecast Lane is our small channel shout out. She actually has a much bigger following over on Instagram. She's got over 10,000 followers, but her channel is on the smaller side now. So go check her out and tell her that the guys over at Diecast Media Network said hi. And again, please check out Paul's channel, Fat Guy Productions, and Honest Diecast. I know both of you've got more in-depth recaps coming up soon on both your channels. So, check that out. Well, he will have a more in-depth one, but Derek, I've seen a little bit of the stuff that you've picked up, and I know those are going to be on a video soon. Derek has picked up some gorgeous diecasts.
Hey, do you have any teasers for people that need to check in on a future diecast discussion?
Yeah. If you guys have anything that you wanted, I know.
Well, I wasn't prepared, I'm just sitting here with a dog.
No worries.
I'll give you guys
a couple. No, not at all.
I'll give you a couple of teasers.
Just a quick one. Yeah.
Just a couple teasers. I'll give you 3. All premium diecast. I did pick up a bunch of Hot Wheels, mainly for customs. I was able to finally find this, so I decided to jump on the opportunity.
Oh, it's not
very
the
nice. It's not
don't
the
get
chase.
Him started, David.
But
don't get him started.
Yeah, don't get me started, David. I did see plenty of those flying around, and I did not bite the bullet on those. So just want to say that.
I picked up the speeder today at Walmart. It was nice, a little speedster.
Oh.
That one's nice.
Oh, the 356.
Yeah,
Nice.
No luck finding the 914, of course. Go ahead. Yeah,
it's okay. You're not missing out, Chuck. Anyways, this is, I believe, an older Inno model.
Mm-hmm.
The Super TWYCE 2001 class winner. It's an R34 GTR in 5 Ziggin livery. Anybody who's keen up on JDM stuff will know exactly what 5 Ziggin is, or 5 Ziggin, however you just decide to say it. This is kind of a dumb deal, but I did get it on a trade, so I couldn't say no. I already have this piece coming, but I only saw one of these at the whole show, and I had to grab it. And I'm sure you guys know why.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, but that's the new Porsche 935 K3 Kremer in Numero Reserve livery. This is the latest one. And there was only one at the show, and I had to get it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Chuck needs that.
And,
He's all about that red, yellow, and white.
Red, orange, yellow, yeah. So
yep. It is technically a shell livery, so anybody who likes shell livery, you could feel comfortable purchasing that for sure. And then last of the teases, I have much more to show. I'm not going to show my 2 Grail pieces that I picked up. I'll save that for later. But this is one I was eyeballing long and hard. Again, only saw one of these at the whole show, and I decided to grab it. But this Pandem R32 GTR,
look at that.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal livery. Great, clean, wide body on it. Just Inno's killing the game, guys. Inno,
they don't miss, do they?
They don't miss. They do not miss. So yeah, anybody out there who's been thinking about dipping their toe into the premium diecast, definitely look into Inno. A lot more of their stuff is starting to roll. They're starting to put a little more emphasis on rolling, which is great. And then of course everybody else, Tarmac, Mini GT, all those brands.
Yes, Andrew, you did just see a Porsche. So,
you did, Andrew.
I just told Andrew I'm going to be participating in his Porsche build. I got to get on that because it's like the 16th. So
2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks, guys.
I might use that speeder the speedster I just picked up. So, and Paul, I know you're a big Redline guy. Did you find any Redline Grail pieces you were looking for? Or?
I have been seeking a Charger. I know that's not the hardest car in the world to find, but you know, I want to restore it. And I don't want to kill a nice Charger, so I found a Charger that I was happy with. Yeah.
Oh, awesome! Yeah,
nice.
Guys,
everybody's going home happy.
Yep,
Paul does beautiful Redline restorations, so be sure to check that out. Especially as we got Redline Day coming up here faster than I'd like to think about. I need to get on that as well. So many challenges, so little time. So, and I just barely made it for Paul's other Paul's Diecast Graveyard. His one, I turned mine in at 2:30 in the morning on technically March 1st, but in Las Vegas it was still it was still the 29th. So I was like, yeah, it's okay. He said it was fine. But yeah, so and again, before we go, please make sure that if you haven't checked out drivendreams.org yet, please do so. I know Mark just told us on a thread that he's found a way to do loosies. So if you've got loose cars that you want to donate that are in good condition that you can give to kids in need, get in touch with him over at drivendreams.org. I've got a large amount of loose cars that I'm looking to unload at the Atlanta convention, and I think the rest of them are going to go to him when we're done. So check that out as well. And again, shout out to him and Kimber, and we're all thinking of them and praying for them and excited for what's ahead for them. So guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm so thrilled that Paul and Derek could join us. It's been a delight talking with you both as always. And we're looking forward to having you on the show again real soon.
Be good.
All right, guys. Well,
thanks, guys.
Thanks everyone watching, listening. Again, thank you for being here and making it to the end of another episode of Diecast Breakdown. And as always, we want to thank you for coming along with us for the ride. So now I'll say my catchphrase: stay fresh, cheese bags. All right.
Yep.
Wrapping it up.